There's nowhere else it can go without me sweating.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to ILR4 tonight for round 17, the Brazilian Grand Prix, the penultimate race of the season. As you may have been just caught, that was the wise words of Jacko. He's on track, but he will join us in the comms box if he or slash when he DNFs. But he will be on mute due to his fan and his the extreme heat in the south of England tonight. But it's the wet conditions, the cool conditions of Interlagos, just outside the city of Sao Paulo. Bring to you live tonight for this ILR4 race on the PS4 tier. Okay, that is the tweets out the way, and I can now focus on this. Tom's straight in the chat saying away's bowling coming up. The live chat open, so I'll try and take on board any comments. Hope you can hear me and the game okay. Rinky, our championship leader, is on pole. It's reports telling me from the drivers that it's a dry race with a heavy rain at the end of this Grand Prix. So I'll be excited to see. I wonder if any guys will try and stretch out a one stop. I doubt they will. It's a very tired, demanding circuit. But Rinky's showing his class here, and I think the last 3 or 4 races he's won back to back. So I mean, I think he's just been in class of his own this last leg of the season, the Asian leg, and he's showing it again. 4 temps up in sector 1 in qualifying. I apologise. Apex Iceman in second, 4 temps behind. See how the field isn't too spread out considering it's ILR4. Now we've got TGI Peter, 18th, Priest Flying Rob, and Murdoch have DNF'd. Jacko did be disappointed in 14th. He was hoping for a bit of rain just to try and mix up the grid a bit. But it is almost as you were for the normal pace. MK Ball makes showing great pace again. And MP3. Dan Scott popped them to P4. He'd be delighted that'd be his highest finish of the season. And Waze, there we have it. Tom was right. Is DNF. I think maybe he's just run out of fuel. That's correct. Someone's not done his maths there. As Rinky Morris pops an even quicker lap time. Bill retires in P12, 2 seconds off the lead. But intermediate qualifying. Let's have a look at some of the fuel. Intermediate all session. It was meant to be drying up a little bit towards the end. And it looks like there isn't any rain currently, so the track will be getting quicker and quicker. So these guys will long to keep going around the track, keep beating in the laps. As I think the lap times will start to tumble. It'll be the classic case of last guy across the line. There's Y races. As you can see there, goes pole by 2,000ths of a second. He had to get in front of Rinky. He has to win tonight, and he's put it on pole. Yuri, the Y Race, is the only title contender now to Rinky Morris, and he has just delivered the goods when it mattered. But like I said, the times will keep tumbling, times will get quicker. I think we're going to see a lot of changes in the top 10. Jacko's still in P14, Avi Paul in P15, Peter in 18th, unlikely to improve. Let's hope they can. Bazza in the pits won't be improving. Apex Senna down in 11th, as Rinky Morris has retired. So he's decided to take the P2, but we'll be interested to see if the guys can be quicker. Obviously, he was down on that lap. As we're going to watch Apex Iceman cross the line. Will he improve? He does improve, but it's not enough to beat Rinky. Only a 10th behind, though. And watch MK Ball on a flying lap as well. Solane as well. And Adamako all on flying laps. They're going to improve the track again. Quicker and quicker. Solane is out. But we're riding aboard of MK Ball, and he comes up the sweeping left-hander. So Lewis Hamilton famously took Glock to win the 2008 World Championship. And keep on using all that track. And where will he place this car? P3, just behind Rinky. Oh, that was crucial. And we'll see where Adam Mako goes. He was showing great pace. His second race in ILR4. Will he upset the odds? Will he get in amongst it? And P6 for him. And that looks like it will complete qualifying. As Yuri doesn't need to set a faster lap. TGIP is having trouble there. He's no issues, and you can see. Oh no! Disaster class from rushing home from work today. But that's Yuri. I believe that's his first pole of the season. Caught me if I'm wrong, Yuri. But great drive from him. 2,000ths of a second ahead of Rinky. This is the sort of things that titles are finally poised on, and he's managed to pip Rinky to a crucial pole position. 1,000th of a second. That's the closest pole we've seen in a long time. Unbelievable from the Dutch drivers. MK Born not far behind, in a 10th behind. Apex Iceman in 4th. The Muna in 5th. Missed a couple of races due to internet. Adam Mako 6th. Danscar 7th. Slane 8th. Waze 9th. Robojeep 10th. Apex Sen 11th. Bastard 12th. Bill in 13th. Ivy Paula. Jacko down in 15th. Murdoch. Crazy Flying Rob TJP here. Complete the lineup. Jacko's got his mic muted. I'm sure he'll dip in when he can. Jacko, what's your thoughts on the race? We've seen a dry to wet race, as I mentioned before.
Good evening, Jack. I'm not too sure how to take this one. I'm thinking soft medium, try and get myself out for a bit of rain at the end and I'll be faster. Stay out, that's the idea, but not happy with that qualifying. Could have gone a lot faster.
So a few seconds off the pace there, Jacko, but hopefully in ILR5 next season you find more your level and maybe a bit more competitive. I think that some of these guys...
World champion.
Well, champion next season. You had it here first, folks.
Let's go.
There you go. It's not letting me change camera there. Now it does. I was getting worried then. Crazy Fun Bob is disqualified. He's not even made the first corner. There's that stricken Sauber. Give you a quick rundown. Let's have a look at the tyres as well, guys. Obviously a wet qualifying session, so everyone is free to start on what they want. Same for Japan as well, but as the Moon has left the session, hopefully we can get back in before the formation lap is over. My race, Waze is disqualified, but Yuri's on the super softs. Rinky's on the mediums. Let's see if he has the pace to keep MK1 Apex Iceman behind him. That'll be interesting to see. You know how slow the mediums are off the line here. The Muna is disconnected, but he's in softs. Adamako super softs. Danscar super softs. Selene super softs. Waze in 9th and super softs disqualified. Can't keep on the track, that boy. Robojeep in 10th. First of the bulk of medium runners. Apex Senna on the mediums. Basil on the mediums. Bill super softs. Paul. I'm surprised these guys are super softs. Jacko super softs and Murdoch super softs. Jacko, what strategy are you thinking today? I'm surprised you're starting the super softs.
Well, everyone readied up too quickly, didn't they? So I didn't have time to change my tyres to soft, so we've had a shocker already.
Absolute disaster class live from the car. Total Wolf not happy, but go down to Jacko.
Get me joining you in the comms box shortly. I'll be up there in a bit.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that for a second, Jacko.
Okay. I'll be here all race, don't worry.
No, as Luke is saying in the chat, we'll be in ILR4 next season. Luke, you'll be in ILR3. Let's behave now. But as the cars are lining up on the grid for the second last time this season into Interlagos in Brazil, this is ILR4. We are moments away now from lights out. 4 lights, 5 lights. And it's a long way. It's lights out, away we go. And Ricky Morris has stalled the car. Oh no! Ricky Morris has had an absolute disaster. He's at the back of the grid. As Y Racer leads them, he's MK Born, Apex Iceman, Adam Mako, and Danscar. As Ricky Morris has stalled the Force India on the grid. And he's up to P14, but that's an absolute shocking start. That's exactly what Euro needed. And this title race is just blown wide open. Let's see what he can do from that. As MK Born is making a go on Y Racer for the lead. As MK Born has got it as well. So that is another crucial step in the title battle. He's really going to have to put his foot down here and get in front of him. MK Born putting a spanner in the works. But what an absolutely dreadful start from Ricky Morris. Down to 13th. That Force India just didn't want to go. As another car, Apex Iceman, tumbling down. As there's a few collisions at the back. The Muna is unable to get in. He's disqualified. Apex Iceman down to 17th. I don't think there's any contact. As a few of the stragglers at the back. As he span up the rears on the grass, he needs to get back on the track. Absolute disaster for the Renault driver. MK Bourne leads us away. He's in P1. Y Racer P2. Adam Mako, great start to P3. Let's have a little quick look at the position changes for you. Ricky Morris, the biggest loser, down 10 positions. Stalled at Force India. Dan's Khan P4 up 3. A lot of these drivers up a few positions. And that's due to Apex Iceman and Ricky Morris having an absolute disaster class to begin with. As we see a car go wide there at the back. It's the Force India's there going side by side. Apex Center not giving us inch space, which I was surprised. As Ricky Morris is going to have to fight his way through this field. It's going to be interesting to see that. We know he's one of the quickest drivers on the grid. I'll be feeling like Hamilton or Vettel coming through the field. So that'll be interesting to watch. It's already up to P11. Ways in P7. Obviously, there's still a constructors' battle going on between Force India and Red Bull. There's only a handful of points in it. I want to see about 10 or 12 points. There's yellow flags in Sector 2, and that might be Baz and Chris flying Rob. I'll have a quick look. And that is Baz going for a spin through the tricky meandering corners of Sector 2. Bad start for a couple of the guys at the back. Recovery drive. Long race for them, though. 34 laps. Christ, didn't realise. I think MK Bourne has lost it. I just caught the end of that, but he span on the curves. I've done that all too many times myself. He's going to have to watch about the safe return to track. As MK Bourne is having an absolute disaster. And Adam Mako is now up 5 places to P1. And Yuri's still losing out on this. And MK Bourne's retired. Oh no! Disaster class from MK Bourne make. I bet he's had some grass on those tyres and he's span it up. He's going to be absolutely good from that. 2 casualties already this Grand Prix. And one of the favourites to win this race. As Jacko is span it. Was that contact, Jacko?
Yeah.
Apex Iceman puts in the fastest lap. So we're interested to see if Apex Iceman can come through the field. But Rinky Morris is now up to P10, and can he get his way through the field? We know he's on the medium tyres. Adam Mako stretching his legs. He did a great performance in USA. He was P2 and he's P1 now. Can Yuri stay with him? He really does need to win to have a good chance in Abu Dhabi. Rinky down in P10, but he is on the medium tyres, so I can see him coming a factor later on. We'll just see if we can get a move done on Murdoch. Got the 2 Ferrari drivers there. Looks like we're in sunset conditions. I've had a disaster and didn't put on official times, so apologies for that for the drivers. Hopefully it doesn't affect them too much. Rinky Morris is going to have a look at Murdoch. Murdoch's showing a lot more pace as Rinky's going on the inside. Oh, slight contact. He's struggling on those mediums. You can see how hard they are to warm up. Hopefully they'll come to him in the next couple of laps as these superstar runners start to struggle. That Waze and Bill battling for P5. I'm not sure if Waze got that move done there, but Waze up to P5 for Force India, and Bill in P6 up 7 positions. Great start for him. RoboCheap in P7 as well. Be sure these guys run medium, so RoboCheap again will go along to this Grand Prix like he's done so many times this season. As I wish I was surprised. Oh no! Why'd you retire?
Oh, let me tell you, I was having a battle with, I believe, Apex Iceman at the time in the Sauber. I did him into turn 1. He went wide, came back across the front of me at turn 3, and I went up his rear, so it's left me with no front wing.
Bet you bloody did. Dirty bugger.
Nothing to fight for, so
that's a shame.
Had to retire.
We shall surprise, but 31 laps left, Jacko, as we see Waze exploring the track's limits once again. He is going to get a talking to off me now. So time and time again, he doesn't seem to learn. Here we are. Bill in P6, Roger P7. A little bit of a Waze train format.
I'd like to point out, when I was behind, Apex Iceman, we were behind Rinky at the time, and he was making great progress up until I went out, so I don't know if that's affecting him at all. But he seems to have stopped going forward now.
Who, Rinky?
Rinky, yeah.
He's struggling a little bit for pace. I mean, he's got let's have a look at his car. I mean, his wings look fine. His front end plate looks fine. He's I mean, he's struggling to get past Murdoch. And no disrespect to Murdoch, he's not the quickest in the field, and I thought he would have pushed past him. And now he's stuck in more traffic. But let's see how far he is from the leaders. He's only 11 seconds off the leader at the moment. I mean, he's on the mediums as well, Jacko. So I mean, I can see him as the way he's going, unless it's a disaster or they're stuck in traffic.
You expect him to be on the podium at the end of the race, don't you? Certainly.
Oh! As RoboGeep, I don't know what's happened there. He went sideways through turn 1. I don't know if he's got wing damage. What was that? It kind of reset to track. Well then. He just hit the barriers and it automatically reset. I don't know if he got away with that. As Murdoch's got to look on the inside. And so they give each other space. Great to see. We're going to ride on board with Murdoch now. Through the tricky second sector here in Brazil. It's a very undulating track. A lot of offset camber moments, a lot of offset camber corners. Some of the curves as well, they're like ice for me. You don't want to take too much of a risk flying off. You see those mediums are still struggling for grip, those mediums, Jacko. How were the super softs wear doing as well when you were driving around? Did you have a look at what the average on a lap roughly?
Didn't really get many laps in, to be honest, but they felt good. I was right behind Rinky, as he makes a good move.
As we just see Y Racers go for a spin on the final uphill left-hander as MK Bourne did, so that's Y Racer down to 6th position. They're all making errors. Oh no!
Oh, he's into the wall.
He's in the wall. I don't know what's happened there. He's lost some front end play. Absolute disaster. MK Bourne did it, now Y Racer's done it. And that could be...
I don't know if you saw it, but he was snaking all the way up the hill and he eventually lost it.
As Rinky Morris makes contact with the Ferraris, and that's going to be a penalty for Rinky Morris. I call that myself. Surely he's going to have to let the guys pass. And he does. I mean, fair play to him, he does. I mean, that was... I cut it on the stream. That was... I mean, Rinky went into a space that wasn't really there. But what an action-packed, defining championship lap that was. Y Racer losing it on the exit, the uphill left-hander, and then spinning up the rears just like MK Bourne did. And now... Rinky coming towards the 2 Ferrari guys. He's back down to 9th. What a topsy-turvy race. But what's your thoughts on that, Jacko? Rinky up to P9, but he's in the wars at the moment.
I'd say he's down to P9 as the car spins off in front of him. It's Murdoch. He's back at the P8. Just don't know where this championship's going now, do you?
Well, I think this is the thing. Crazy Fine Rob is out, which is a shame. Oh no. Oh God!
It's all going off.
You hate to see it. You're watching this, Lee Maver. Oh no! Rest in peace, Crazy Flying Rob.
Gone but not forgotten.
Yeah, curtains are out for that one. You hate to see it. He's in the grass. He's 6 feet under, Jacko. That's what he is. You hate to see it. We've got 15 runners left, 14 runners left already in this Grand Prix. With quite a few laps left, so come on guys, give me some entertainment. Y Racer, he's going to bolt on the mediums. Let's have a quick look at the stops. So Y Racer and Ivy pulled half pit. Let's have a look at the tyres as well, more importantly. So Y Racer on the softs, they're not going to last. Maybe he's hoping for rain, Jacko. But we're going to keep an eye on... Whoa, a lot of frame rate drops there. This is an absolute disaster. As Rinky is losing patience in that Force India. Apex Center's not giving him in. She's racing. He's bullying him. This is for track position. They haven't pitted. Are you getting a lot of frame rate drops?
A lot of frame rate drops. I wonder if it's on the stream as well.
Yeah, well, I'm getting it on the screen, so they're going to be getting it.
They all seem to be keeping it on track.
It seems okay now, yeah. No, I think it's had a little bit of a moment, but it seems okay now. Let's give a quick rundown of it. Adam Mako in Super Softs, P1, Solane P2, great race for him so far. Bit of a quiet one, but tell you what, Jacko, I'd take a quiet race in P2 any day of the week. Dan's car, Daniel, his best performance so far this season in a net P3, Jacko. His best ever finish was a P6, so he's going to have a bit of a nosebleed up there. Bill in P4, excellent drive so far, keeping it clean, and he's not far away from Dan's car as well. Contention for a possible podium. Who knows?
Honourable mention to Bill. He's up there again, like he was in the United States.
I tell you what, this is a saucy battle here, Jacko. Rinky and Apex Center. These two.
I'm on it.
2 words: elbows out. That is what I'm saying. At the moment, it's PC, but I've seen it so many times in these ILR races. Yeah, it just takes one little mistake, one little little moment you brake too late and you lose your front wing or you go for a spin. But it's good to see Apex Center's not giving him the championship leader any
Senna doesn't seem to care that he's leading the championship, does he? He wants that P7.
No, no, I like that. That's what I want to see. It gives Y-Racer a chance to get back into it.
Absolutely.
I'm
surprised that Y-Racer has gone for the soft though.
Paul is watching, eating some carbonara in sunny Spain. Love to see it. MK Born asks how to teach me how to drive. Has anyone left the session yet? Nobody has left the session. Muna disconnected during the formation lap, but no one's actually left the session yet, which is good to see. It's good to see. So cheers, lads, for those who's staying in it. Make some changes there. I say the Rinky's. I don't know if he's got damage, Jacko. He's not showing the pace I know he has got, or what he showed in qualifying. He's stuck in a little bit of traffic again. He's I've got the leader times on. He is a little bit back. He's almost a pit window now behind the front leader Adamako, who seems to almost have this race sewn up if he keeps going. There's flags in the sector 3. Might be Ivy pulled off as it's TGI Peter off. He's basically stopped. He's had an absolute disaster and he's still looking for more points. He keeps telling me he needs more points. I think he needs to get back on track and start practicing. As Soleil gets a stop go, that's going to hurt him.
Gonna give Bill a shout at that podium.
It depends
and Waves potentially.
So obviously now we're thinking of the pit windows open for the super soft runners. So we're interested to see where these guys filter out amongst the other guys who have pitted. I'm looking at Y-Racer, maybe Apex Iceman as well. Interesting to see what comes about, and also let's not forget that there is rain due as well at some point. And it looks like Soleil may come out in the middle of this battle, and he certainly has, just behind Apex Iceman, just in front of Apex Iceman, the Renault driver. So I don't know if that was a strategic call from the Renault pit wall to get him around front. His teammate was execute perfectly. But those medium tyres are going to be cold, and he's going to have to get them up to speed, up to temperature very quickly. So hopefully if he can have a go at Murdoch. He'll be struggling now on the super softs when he'll be able to pit.
Iceman shouldn't really challenge Soleil. He'll know he's not meant to be down in night.
No, I mean it's Soleil's going to have a move.
What a move.
Tell you what.
Aggressive,
it was a little bit cheeky. It was clean. I think Murdoch left the door open for him, and good on him for not making it worse than what it was. But Apex Iceman hasn't pit yet. I didn't realise that.
Kiss of the tyres on the way through.
His Waze has a stop go as well. So obviously as this game is, if you don't pit again, you'll get a 10-second penalty in your Grand Prix because you've not served the stop go, and you've then gained an advantage from it. It's not all normal F1 rules, but it's the rules that the game implement. As we're looking at a freeway battle, there's front wing damage, front end plate comes off. I think it's the Renault, and I smell bending in the flat. That is a bit of a concern, but we carry on, guys.
Bill's gone wide at turn 4 with no front wing.
That's right, Jacko. Yeah, his front left is in tatters, but he might get away. He'll lose a bit of time in the front wing change, but if the pit window's open, so it won't be as bad if you lose at the first couple of laps. Your race is almost curtains, but still be quite far. Rinky's up to P4 now. So these guys, Adam Mako has pitted and he's in P2 ahead of Rinky. But as it stands, I'm looking at Y-Racer, and to be honest, I think we need to be realistic here. Can he overhaul Rinky? He needs to finish ahead of Rinky to have any chance of taking this to Abu Dhabi, otherwise it's going to be wrapped up. Robo Jeep and Adamako are battling, and looks like Adamako is putting another. Is that another set? It's another set of super softs for Adamako. Well then, I don't know if he's hoping for rain or something, but quick look at the tyres there. We've got a bulk of medium runners now in the top 5. Slane has pitted on the medium, so he is a net P2. So obviously it's that sort of period as we have seen in F1. The middle of the Grand Prix now where some of the guys are pitted, some are having as Apex Iceman is in the pits. As Jury is up to P9 pit, but he's on softs. So maybe he's going to stick on a set of super softs at the end and have a little bolt for it. I don't know what the tyre wear's like. What was the super softs like for you, Jacko?
Honestly, I never had time to check.
Well then.
I felt like I started and I crashed on lap 2 and that 2 or 3 anyway. And that was it. Curtains.
Kills on the
but
mediums.
they felt like they had a few laps in them.
Adam Marcus is the fastest lap of this Grand Prix so far on 111.672. I was going to look at Rinky and Apex Center. They're still doing battle, Jacko.
I know.
How many
I'm on
laps?
it.
It's been most of this Grand Prix. Rinky's not been able to get past Apex Center. It's almost hampering his race. But,
If Rinky finishes in this position, he will win the championship.
what's the point leads at the moment? What does he have over?
He has a 40-point gap over Yuri.
Oh, right, okay.
So he needs 11 points to win it. Fourth would give him 12.
Oh, no, he doesn't. He just needs to finish ahead of Yuri. Because it's 20.
All that.
It's 25, it's 25 points in Dubai. Abu Dhabi, sorry. Yeah, so Yuri has to, Y-Racer has to get like a 15-point lead over
a race win, really,
yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I thought the start was perfect. Rinky stalls and Yuri gets the lead. I thought, here we go. This is what the people wanted. But a few disasters from MK Born, disaster from Jacko, Muna disconnecting, and disaster from Yuri as well. Same thing where MK Born did, but at least in DNF. Still in this Grand Prix, anything could happen. Still overhauled this
My
Grand Prix.
disaster was at the fault of one of the Saubers, so we'll be having a look at that later on.
Ooh. Surely Rinky's not going to have a little look on the inside. He doesn't this time. But it's the classic case of Matt. Apex Center is getting DRS off the car in front. But Rinky's looking a lot closer this time around. Will he have a look on the inside or outside here? He tucks back in again.
This is a great battle because none of these are pitted.
Exactly, yeah. Interesting to see where they come out. Solane is on the mediums and he is catching this train by like 0.7 a lap as well. So Solane's flying. He's already pitted as well. So that's good sharp driver of the day.
Adam Mako's got the race won.
I'd say so, yeah. So Adam Mako's pitted, Robo Jeep, Apex Center, Rinky. This is all for position there. Yet to pit. Slane, Danscar and Waste have pitted. Baza hasn't and Yuri hasn't. So we'll have a quick look. Gap from the leaders. From the leader. So 28. So Jacko, Y-Racer is 21 seconds behind this battle. So if these guys pit soon, we could see Y-Racer and Baza and possibly Waze all involved in a 4-5 car battle later on in this Grand Prix. But then also taking into account that it could be raining. As Rinky and Apex Center.
And he goes up the outside.
Oh, he's squeezing them. Oh, there's contact. Oh,
there's a bit of contact there.
But it's just
Senna
about
won't
clear.
be happy with that. He's still there.
Oh, I tell you what, this is aggressive driving, but it's clean. It's borderline at times, so it's the bumping wheels again. As Apex Center is still coming out and Rinky runs wide, and you gotta say, I mean, I think Rinky's a bit of an argy-bargy driver himself at times, and he's getting his medicine a little bit. Apex Center.
There's steam coming out of his ears with that.
I think so.
He is not happy.
Every lap's costing him. I think Apex Center is probably a little bit outside the top 5 pace here. And fair play to him though, he's not showing the outright pace just to breeze past them. So this is playing to Robojeep's hands a little bit as well. And I think it's also taken into account, Jacko, that Adam Mako will have to pit one more time. So
oh yeah.
Interesting to see what happens. Solane won't have to. And he's only 18 seconds off the leader. So interesting to see. I don't think it's all set up yet. I'll have to wait and see.
Is that raindrops I can see on my TV screen?
Announce rain, Formula 1 game. Announce rain now.
That is raindrops. 100%.
If we can confirm down to 10 in the pit lane if there's rain, that would be great. Are the umbrellas out?
The umbrellas are out. The crowd are putting their ponchos on. Yeah, I'm still on board with Rinky myself, and the drops are hitting the camera now.
So still playing to the hands of the guys who haven't stopped, Jacko. So Robojeep, Apex Center and Rinky have yet to stop.
Yep, and there'll be a lot of life left in those tyres yet, so they can wait for it a little bit.
They can wait, I don't know what the mediums are like. I mean, probably it's about lap 20-ish. You probably want to come in, but obviously the harder compound in the rain, it's you got more grip compared to the super softs, so you actually want to be on the mediums probably at this point in time. The super softs will be slower in the tricky greasy conditions.
At the inside.
Oh. And he's finally got it done. It's taken him about 15 laps. Will Apex Center pit? That's important
That's
for him.
important for the championship.
Tell you what, I wouldn't rule out Apex Center having an absolute outrageous dive bomb. But he doesn't think second. He
He's
doesn't have a
better
little
than
think.
that, surely. He goes wide into
Oh,
turn one now.
yeah. The other day, yeah. You can just maybe appreciate how hard it is to keep it close to the other cars. And Rinky now is going to stretch that Mercedes engine and try and catch the Renault engine of that Red Bull in front of him. So this is with these conditions changing a bit sooner than I thought. I thought they're going to come the last 6-7 laps. It's coming a lot early in this Grand Prix, so we could see intermediates coming very soon. Some guys were saying heavy rain, so we'll wait and see if it does get into full wet conditions. We have a look who has pitted. So obviously RoboJeep, Rinky, Apex haven't. They're all on mediums. Baza hasn't as well, so it could be a masterclass from Baza. Selene is the first of the first pit stops. Who's the net P2? Ways into net P3 of the guys have to pit. Dan's car P4. So let's have a quick look at the tyres.
Halfway through this race now.
Halfway through this, oh yeah, it's gone quite quick. 36 laps as well. Can't wait to see that.
I don't think anyone's going to get a faster lap than Adam Mako today either.
No, I think that's done and dusted.
Rinky's made a mistake into turn one.
Selene gets the fastest
So
lap.
did Senna.
Well then, he's silenced you.
Tell you what, I'll be quiet. I should have opened my mouth.
Selene has left the session. Oh no! It's his birthday coming up this week. He's going to be 25. He's told me to give him a shout out for that, so I have. Happy birthday when it comes, Selene, Jordan. But this is not the birthday present he wanted. In P5, and he's disconnected. We've seen it a few times. So any of the guys who have retired, I guess they can now leave the lobby if they so wish, as the driver has disconnected. So obviously that means slipstream.
See you later then.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I'm absolutely
Dan's
gutted for
car
Jordan.
is going to be very close. He's catching up to Selene now.
Yeah. Dan's car will be rubbing his hands, but Selene rejoins. Get in, get back in. Looking at Baza over the back of Y-Racer as Wace has put onto the intermediates already, Jacko.
Too early, surely.
It's showing super soft on the broadcast cam.
Selene's still not back in the car. He's in the session, but he's not in the car.
Yeah, you go into the lobby and it takes a while to get back in. Hate to see it.
Dan's not going to have him in the turn one.
I'm just watching on board of Selene, Waze, the intermediates, and he's struggling. He's struggling for grip. He's struggling for traction outside all these corners for the these U corners. The NSS. Is it? Was it the?
Selene's back.
Is he?
Just in time.
That's good to see. I think there's an issue. Oh, you can see the car sliding around there. I mean, I don't know about you, Jack, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to be out there in these conditions, especially through sector one, that downhill sweeping left to right hander. I'm pretty sure I've been it. If you touch the curbs now, it's safe travels and good night. You're gonna end up as a crazy flying Rob 6 feet under, glitched out. I don't know if Selene's made a mistake or something, but Dan's car is up to P5. As RoboJeep has also gone for a spin. Jacko's down to P4. Apex Center's up to P3.
Look where Rinky is as well.
I know. I hate to see it.
It won't matter about winning this.
So Rinky's, is he coming in? He's not coming in. So this is race. Even though he's had a disaster at the start, he stalled on the start line at the beginning of this Grand Prix. He's recovered, and the rain has come exactly when he needed it to. The question is, when is the switch over to the intermediate tyres? We've got the Ferrari guys out in the pit lane. We've got the Red Bull guys as well out in the pit lane. Imagine that's for RoboJeep.
Oh, they're all pitting now. Look.
They are all pitting. Will any of the guys stack? RoboJeep's in, on they go. Number 22 driver Matt there. Baz has got a 5-second penalty, so that will be fortunately that will be a 10-second pen if he doesn't pit again. As MK Born is after session, he's obviously heard my comments.
We'll keep an eye on Apex Center.
Okay. It's Y-Racer. Yuri is
only...
not. Keep an eye on Bill as well. We need to keep an eye on Bill and Murdoch for their time, see what the Delta times is. But if a lot of guys at the bulk of the grid is pitting, I think Yuri's probably ruined his Grand Prix by staying out in the softs. They're going to have no grip whatsoever on those softs, won't they? Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But
Senna is in the hot seat for a top 3. Absolutely.
He is showing a great races. Solane is retired. Oh, that's a big one.
And Rinky stays out.
I don't know what he's done there, Jacko. Is he lost on the curb and he's hit the barrier? Maybe he's on the
Is that out of turn 5?
I think so. He's
or
maybe
am I wrong? Yeah.
My guess is he's probably hit the curb and he's gone for a tank slapper, and he's lost the rear tyre. Absolute massive accident there for the Renault driver.
Remote ways into the points.
Disaster class himself. It says he's on the super softs. Do not believe that. He is on the intermediates, as you can see there in his point of view cam. That's Cody's excellent work there in the broadcast cam, seeing he's on super softs. Cheers, lads.
I'm sure they'll get 2018 right. They've got to.
I've seen the last 4 years. We're watching not much airtime for Bazza. He's doing a quiet race, but again, main man from Wales, Barry, is in P9. And Murdoch and Bill yet to pit. Bill is staying out there on the mediums. Nobody's getting the words in there from ILR2 driver Jake, who's his brother, funny enough, Jacko. So now he's getting some words of advice on these tricky conditions as Adam Mako is now in the pits.
Be interesting to see what Rinky does here.
Adam Mako's got a 5-second stop go, Jacko. So that'll be a 10-second penalty, yeah. As Rinky stays out for another lap. But he lost about 2 seconds the last, like, 1.5 laps to Adam Mako. So, I mean, I don't know what he's doing here. Maybe he's trying to nurse it to, you know, into his last for the rest of this Grand Prix. But surely 13 laps is enough. I don't know. Unless Adam Mako doesn't pit again, that's a 10-second penalty for him for speeding the pit lane. Couple drivers might have that. We'll have to wait and see. His Y racer as well, Jacko, doesn't pit. I'm a little thought, and maybe I'm being a bit silly. Are they waiting for wet conditions? Are they risking it? Is Y racer risking it and thinking, you know what? Wait until it gets a bit heavy and heavier, and then I'm going to put on wets. Is he going to go for the crossover between the wet? I mean, it's an awful gamble.
It's a good idea.
It's a gamble.
It is an awful gamble. It's also a very good idea, but at the same time, his main rival is doing exactly the same thing.
Watching the battle for P5 here, RoboGeep runs wide on the curve, and he's got Dan Scott all up in his gearbox. He's going to go left, and we've got Bill and P7 on the mediums, and he's obviously Bill is struggling on those mediums now as RoboGeep runs wide. That's going to give the position back to Bill, and Dan Scott up to P5. And there's that Bill in the grass. You can tell. Oh, he's struggling there. It's a shame. He's great driving though from the guys. Shame those meters are just struggling a little bit now.
Oh, he's off again.
Yeah, he's gonna have grass and wet conditions. He's gonna have to nest that car back, get some inters on now. As Rinky is in the pits. As
I have an update from the media pen for you, by the way.
Murdoch is out on the. Oh, that is a disaster. Is that disaster class of the race? Exit on the exit of the pit entry. Pit exit, sorry. Hate to see that.
Let's have a look. Oh no.
Yeah. ILR5 beckons. Hate to see it. That's going to push up Apex.
In from Solane. He's saying he put the power down too early on turn 4 and he went for a spin, hit the barrier. I'll tell you what, there's a Force India who's just crashed on the straight.
It's Rinky Morris. Oh no, he's had a disaster. Morris. He's crashed on the straight as Murdoch has left the session.
He's just come out the pits.
He's just come out and another guy's had a disaster in the pit lane. Another guy. Oh no.
He's in the pits. He's coming out now. This championship has turned itself on its head again.
I think he should be fine. Rinky's in a net P2 still, but absolute disaster classes as Rinky Morris, his front right end plate jacket is completely gone. That'll be red.
I'm looking at that. Oh yeah.
We've got 6 people tuning in. I appreciate the guys tuning in towards the end of the season on a dead game. Yeah, fair play to the boys.
I wouldn't.
No, Crumpet wouldn't. So look.
Look at Senna. He's in 3rd. He's catching up to Rinky. He's really struggling about that wing now. He's got a pit, surely.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people. I saw a couple of drivers said heavy rain at the end. So, I mean, maybe full wets. I don't know. But I mean, Rinky can't continue this wing damage.
He stays out.
He's gonna have to. Maybe he's thinking, you know what? I can afford to lose a few positions. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, where's Y Racer? He's Selena's left the
P6.
session, so we've got quite a few DNFs today. Shame to see. Obviously, Brazil, tricky conditions. It always ends up this sort of way. But we've got an entertaining Grand Prix though, as Apex Senna Jacko is catching at a rate.
Snaking his way around turn 3, but he's still catching Rinky all the way.
Yeah, I know. Rinky's really struggling here, and there's a bit of a gap back though. I think as Rinky runs wide again, so. He's been the main entertainment for this Grand Prix. He's not making this title easy for himself. All he needs, Jacko, is a DNF, and he's running wide again. He's everywhere. And he's running deep into the Apex. His Apex Senna is looking all over the back.
Just gotta let him go. There's no point getting involved in a fight at this point.
Yeah, but Apex Senna made it difficult for Rinky for 15 laps. Why is Rinky going to make it easy for him? I know. I wouldn't. You know, fair play to him. There's a Sauber getting involved in it. I think that's Ivy Pollard. He's just outside the points. I'd love to see TGIP or Ivy Pollard, to pick up just a point or two. It's been a while for them. Great seeing them show up all season. We've got 12 runners left in this Grand Prix.
Meanwhile, out front, Adam Mako is just showing the checkered flag.
Yeah,
he's there.
He's got to keep his concentration. Just give him a bit of airtime. There he is. He's in a class of his own. He's absolutely dominated this Grand Prix, only because everyone else has had disasters, safe to say. But
I was going to say, what was his start like? Because I didn't see it. I was racing at the time.
Yeah.
How did he get away?
Yeah, he just started clean, got up a couple of positions, then obviously disaster ensued for MK Bourne, Rinky, and then managed to overtake Y Racer when he went for a spin. So I mean, you got to give him credit. He's 35 seconds ahead, but
he's had his luck as well.
But his help has been helped. I wouldn't say it's luck. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Fair play to him. Was this his second race?
Second race, yeah. He got a P2 in Kota as well. So Apex Senna is falling back a little bit on Rinky. A little bit of chopper cam here. As Rinky is touching the grass, he's everywhere. Oh no.
That's a gift. He's left the door wide open.
Surely he's going to have to make a move here as Apex Senna.
No.
He didn't want to commit. It's tricky conditions, and tell you what, it looks like it's getting a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Right on board of Apex Senna, it's getting a lot heavier. We could be seeing full wet conditions. It's a bit annoying. We've got yellow flags in sector 3, which means there's no overtaking up the top of the hill. There's Ricky Morris.
He's been there the entire race, I think. Or certainly after Y Racer put it in the wall. Senna's still all over him. It's only a matter of time. Surely down the back straight into turn 4.
We'll have a look. We're going round on board of Apex Senna right now. No DRS, of course, but this is where Rinky does struggle.
Yeah, so that Mercedes power keeps him ahead on the straights, but through the turns he's a sitting duck. He just needs Senna to commit, and he'll be through. Like right now, what can he do here into turn 6? Up the inside as they approach turn 7. Rinky holds on.
I mean, I don't really want to say, but I shouldn't really say as the owner of the league, but I've got a feeling this might end in tears. I don't know why. I think this is going to be all aboard the Rinky train shortly. We've got Dan's car, RoboJeep and Y Racer all backing up. We've got Ivy Paul at the back marker as well. All in this, add another little spanner in the works. This is an entertaining Grand Prix. It's going to be a sensational finish. I think Rinky just needs to finish, Jacko, and he's got the title. He shouldn't risk it too much. He's got to, I mean, all in all, fight well you can fight, but I mean, he's got a 40-point lead. He doesn't need to risk it. He can just finish He can just finish P6,
Even
7.
if he lets Y Racer go, he won't want to. That competitive edge, he won't want to let it go to Y Racer, certainly.
Exactly. And Y Racer needs to have a 15-point swing here, and I can't see him getting it, if I'm honest. So at the moment, this titles looks like it's going to Ricky Morris. And we have a little look. He really is. Surely, we've seen team orders quite a lot this season. These guys chop and change when they're on the quicker strategy. It's Y Racer and RoboJeep all going to temper each other.
Oh. Oh, you don't want to see that.
Sounds like Apex.
So, the lane is asking me if he is allowed to keep the fastest lap.
Of course he is.
Crashing out. Of course he is. That's what I thought.
But
if he's watching on the stream, there's your confirmation.
And happy birthday, Jordan, as well, when it comes, mate.
Happy birthday. 1 minute 10.482 is a good lap, considering the conditions. He did that when it was raining as well.
I'm sorry, Jack, while we're talking about Jordan, Apex Senna has got ahead of Rinky Morris through the S section, where he's really struggling. And now, would you believe it, Dan's car is all over the back of the ILR champion to be. Oh, he's telling you what. Look at the Red Bulls here, struggling out the exit of the corner. Surely White Race is going to have a go Robo GP here. I'll tell you, it's getting heavier and heavier. Oh, look at the understeer. As Robo Jeep's pin. Robo Jeep's pin, so this surely must mean the wets are going on. So this is now a Grand strategic call from the Red Bull guys. We know they're Red Bull in real life. They love a good strategy call to keep people on the toes. But it's interesting why Robo Jeep's took the decision to pit now. Maybe he's taking one for the team, pitting a little bit earlier, so Y Racer gets the ultimate strategy. I don't know. We'll wait and see if he quits this lap or what. But
tell you what, Dan's car's had an excellent race. Up in P4, looking down the bow of a podium.
Oh, he's going to look at the inside here. Surely he can get it done. And he does. That's fantastic. A net P3 for Dan's car.
More of his wing.
Oh, I hate to see. He's going to lose hand over fist now.
Oh.
But Dan's car, his best finish ever was a P6. And now he's in a P3. He's improved so much this season, Daniel. The Estonian driver. Fantastic to see. He wasn't sure about racing next season. But I told him he would get shot in ILR5. So there you go, Jack. Have to get him in.
Yep.
You can see ILR5 title battle between Dan's car, Crumpet and Bazza. That's what we all want to see. Are these guys pitting?
With a Jacko win thrown in for good measure.
Oh, needed. But they are not pitting, interestingly enough. So I don't know if Robojeep's taking a gamble. I ride on board with Robojeep to see what it's like. He's struggling a little bit. He is half throttle. Just got telemetry up at the moment. Yeah, he's a bit sliding. Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I don't think it's time for wets. That could be curtains. It's also a good, strange call for the strategy for the constructors as well, Jacko. Because so you can check for me the points difference. But Force India and Red Bull, there is not much in it. I want to say about 10 points. So every point, every position is valuable at the moment, and Waze is ahead of Robojeep as well, crucially. I'll tell you what now, Y Racer is over the back, on the back of Rinky Morris. The title contenders now side by side for the S section. How hard is Rinky?
They keep it clean.
Oh yeah, this is it. You don't want curtains now. As you're always going to throw up the inside. Oh, he's going to run wide. Slight touch. Surely he's not going to have the downforce to keep it there. And you can see how much he's struggling there, and that is Y Racer up to P4. But unfortunately, that's only a 2-point change in the points, so that means Rinky's on 38-point lead, which will gift him the title going into Abu Dhabi. So Rinky pits. Obviously, he's taking the hit now, Jacko. But we've seen how much Robojeep's struggling on those wet tyres. So let's see with a wing change as well.
Know that.
Rinky doesn't know that, no, unless he's got the stream open, but
Y Racer needs to finish in third if Rinky doesn't get back into the points, but I can't see it happening.
And Rinky's got a stop go, and he's got a wing change. That's another 10 seconds add on to his time.
Okay.
That's a costly pit stop. But there's a gap in the field. He's down in P7. Let's see if Bill can get ahead of Rinky Morris. This is crucial for the World Championship. All eyes on Bill here. Can he do it? Oh, Rinky's coming out the pit lane.
Oh, he spins in turn one.
Oh, no, Bill. Go on, son. What were we... Unlucky. He's
Rinky comes out in 7th.
So that'll be 6 points to Rinky Morris. 12 points. Again, it's not enough. 32-point gap. He needs to get, as it says, depends on what his time is like on the wet now, Jacko. So if you can keep an eye on that, the delta between him and Waze, that'll be interesting to see. He's got to have a fresh wing as well.
It is a true champion's drive. We've seen in real F1, we know that certainly Lewis Hamilton of last year, he had that race in Mexico. Is it Rinky 2018 Brazil? He's having his moment, he's having a mare, but he's doing enough, and that's all that matters.
Exactly, he's kept his, he's not kept his nose clean, but he's fought and he's battled, far from it. This is not the race he wanted, he wanted a quiet race.
4.5 laps away from the world title.
as I'm watching a battle for P2, Danscar and Apex Senna. Who would have thought it for this second podium position?
This is great to
Danscar's
see.
all over him. And also Y-Race is getting on this Jacko, and he could steal P2 from both of them. And that would add another spanner as Waze is in the pits. Ooh.
At this point, what would you do? Would you stay out, or would you pit the wets? 4 laps to go.
Whoa, it's
Danscar goes
contact.
on the inside of Senna.
I don't think that move was on.
Not in Senna's book, it wasn't. He wants it though, but he's also got to be wary from behind because Yori is there.
So Rinky is theoretically finishing 6th now. He's taken the hit, and he's got Waze just behind him. So I don't know if Waze's teammate is going to challenge him, but unless Bazza pits, we're waiting to see.
Waze has half a front wing as well.
I don't think Baz is going to pit. I think Baz is, knowing him, he's going to stick it out for the next 3 laps. Unless Bazza goes to a spin, I can't see any. We're watching Y-Racer now on Dan's car. Yuri needs to get the move done. He needs to get P2 at least. And then we'll do the maths afterwards and have a look.
Oh, look at that. Even if Yuri gets 2nd and Rinky finishes 6th, it's still only a 10-point swing. He needs to win this race. But Adam Mako is not having any issues out front, all on his own.
Oh, they're going side by side. Sure needs to get this done, and that is a fantastic move from Y-Racer. Up to P2. What a recovery drive as well. He went for a spin, lost his wing. He's up to P2. The contention for driver of the day, but Apex Senna and Danscar as well, Jacko, have been fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. I'd like to see Danscar get on this podium. Senna's been great as well. But Danscar, he's come from the back of the grid.
Really has. Have a quick look at the
in the early part of the season, he's
change,
massively improved.
Danscar's got 3 positions. Apex Senna's up 8. Yeah, Adam Mako up 5 as well. I mean, theoretically, you give Adam Mako driver of the day up 5 positions and winning by 40 seconds.
You give it to anyone in the top 6.
Not Rinky. I'm sorry to say. Bazza as well is a good shout. Top for anyone in the top 5 really.
Rinky's he's given us entertainment.
He bloody has. It's been an exciting Grand Prix, but Y-Race in P2, and it all depends if Rinky has a disaster, and that's all we're really waiting for now. I mean, he just has to see this car home. So the gap's 40 points. Y-Race gets 18.
It's 10
Rinky
points.
will get 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a 30-point gap, which means Rinky will win the ILR4 championship.
Waze isn't going to challenge him.
He's a little bit closer.
Bill, I don't think. Yeah, Waze will know. There must be team orders there. He's just going to be his rear gunner now, protected from Bill and RoboG.
I don't think they really talk too much, those guys. I mean, they'll respect each other. I think Waze will know he's got a title on the hands, but is Rinky struggling? It's Jacko. The rain is really coming down now. It's really heavy.
It is now. Look at that through turn 1 and 2.
And I'll tell you what, though, maybe I'm trying to build up a little bit of story. Maybe I'm trying to build suspense, but Rinky has made quite a few errors this season, especially in the European season. A lot of DNFs, spar in the wet, and also Waze. I think the Force India drives a little bit more carefree, let's say. Posh to an instant. I'm going to look at Danscar and Apex Senna still battling for the final podium position, Jacko. Baz is not far behind as well, so interesting to see if Baz can get in on this. Final lap of the Grand Prix is approaching. Adam Mako's 40 seconds up the road. I mean, he's almost on the back markers here. He's almost getting he's almost lapping Rinky and Waze. Unbelievable drive.
The thing with Danscar and Senna is, do they have the racecraft to not hit each other?
Well, so far they're showing it. I think they've got Adam Mako's about to start his final lap of the Grand Prix, so there's 2 full laps left for these guys. Danscar, if he gets P3, he's driver of the day. He's going to have a look on the inside. Oh, these guys aren't going to give an inch. Danscar will really want the podium. His best finish this season was a P6. Yeah. And he's come on leaps and bounds this Grand Prix.
Senna has been struggling for the last 10-15 laps in these conditions.
Tell you what though, he's defended superbly in... Oh, Danscar!
Oh, there goes his wing.
There goes his wing. I don't know what happened there. There's Bazza as well, got a bit of damage. So
the lag spike in that.
Looked like it, yeah.
Gutted for Danscar.
Yeah, he's got no wing, so Ivy Paul is battling him for some reason. Baza as well, I think, is going to have wing damage. So unfortunately, a bit of an anticlimax. But Apex Center will get a P3. And I think for that, Joko, I might have to give him driver of the day. Who's your driver of the day?
Just having a look through Baza, that he's been quiet. Senna, he seems to have been at the centre of all the action, so I'll probably have to agree with you again. That's 2 weeks in a row.
Baza as well, up big positions, and like, no offense to him, he's not the quickest guy, but his P4 is fantastic as well.
He's slower than me, isn't he? He's not a chance.
BA, absolutely fantastic drive from the Welshman. TGIP as well,
Yeah,
he's a couple of laps down, but he's stuck at it as well. And Ivy Paul, he's kept, even though he's been lapped, he's had a disaster early on, he's kept quite well the front pack, which is great to see.
Tell you what, Adam Maccabee's coming up to the line now. Win his first ILR race.
There he is. Adam Mako wins his first ILR race, ILR4. That's a P1 and a P2. And a fantastic drive from him. Could be a dangerous contender next season. To be honest, that sort of pace he shows in Abu Dhabi could be an ILR3. His RoboJeep has been lapped and crosses the line. Bill in P9. He'll be happy with that, I think. Apex Iceman, absolute disaster at the start. Was one of the quickest drivers on the grid, Jacko, down in P10. As Rinky cannot finish now. Lower than P8. So, safe to say the title's coming out.
Halfway around the lap.
Zamuna's left the session, yeah, I know, but I was right on board. Yuri's going to cross the line now. 18, he needed to win. I don't think it's going to be enough. There's a 40-point gap. He takes it down to 22. But Rinky in P6 will pick up 8 and make it a 30-point lead going into Abu Dhabi. Which then in turn means Rinky Morris, the Dutchman, he had an up and down start, but he's had an absolutely fantastic second half of the season. Wins his first ever ILR4 title. A fantastic drive. He's weaving on the pit straight. Don't bid it. He knows it. So congratulations to Rinky Morris. Oh no!
He's crashed.
He's crashed, but he's got a P6.
He's classified.
He's classified. So what a way to finish. Not the clash that finishes. Race finish P7, but Rinky Morris is the ILR4 World Champion. So congratulations to him. Commiserations to Y-Racer, Randoms and Muna, who are excellent title contenders as well this season. More likely to be an ILR3 next season. Rinky probably ILR2. So great drives all around. And but also let's go back to today's race. And Adam Mako with his first ever ILR4 race, so it's day of first. With Y-Racer, fantastic P2, has to be said, great recovery. And Apex Center with some great, I'm going to have to say great defender from what I saw. Don't know if there's anything off camera I missed, but excellent P3 for him.
Quick shout out to Baza as well, picking up a P4.
Yeah, excellent drive out. There's
fantastic for him.
You have to look at
Dan's car came home 5th, by the way.
Yeah, that was a good drive.
Yep. Shame about that lag spike at the end. Could have had a podium.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, random lag spike. That's what you get for living in Estonia, I guess. But it's what it is. He's had a fantastic drive. But that's it for Brazil. We have one more race remaining in Abu Dhabi next week, and we have our champion confirmed, Rinky Morris. He was ahead of 40-point lead, so all he had to do was finish. He didn't make it easy for himself. But he takes home a P6 and is the ILR4 World Champion. Y-Racer Yuri is almost confirmed to finish second as well. So fantastic effort from both of them. Great. It's been a great season, and we have one more battle in the desert next week, which I'll be commentating on. Last one of the season. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and safe travels.